If you're anything like me, then as soon as you finish watching a TV series, then you immediately start spiraling, wondering what you're supposed to do with your life because it's over. Don't worry, I got you covered. Today, I'm going over some book recommendations for what to read after you've finished watching your favorite TV show. I recently finished watching Severance and I need a book recommendation for post-Severance, so if anybody has one, let me know down below. I can't stop thinking about that show. Before we dive into my recommendations, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I post lots of TBR challenges, book recommendations, just cozy book content, so definitely make sure to subscribe. All right, let's go ahead and jump right in. The first show I'm going to talk about is The Summer I Turned Pretty. This is on Netflix. This is a dreamy, nostalgic series that follows the main character, Belly, who travels back every single summer to Cousins Beach. This follows her story of being entangled in a love triangle, but there's also a lot of emotional depth and challenges. This series really encapsulates what it feels like to be a teenager in the summer. Okay, yes, before you freak out, this is technically already a book series, so if you're looking for something that is literally the exact same, you can read the book series. However, if you want something similar vibes, but maybe a little bit more mature, maybe for a little bit older audience, I would highly recommend Beach Read by Emily Henry. This is a very similar setting. It is a small beach town. This book touches on grief, but also emotional challenges, emotional growth. It also has a slow burn romance that is so satisfying. This book follows two writers that are literally just trying to figure out their lives. This book is summer. It is heartfelt, and it's perfect for anybody who loves the Belly-Conrad relationship. Next is personally one of, if not my most favorite TV show ever, Gilmore Girls. This is a fast-talking, cozy show set in Stars Hollow, Connecticut. This show follows Lorelai and Rory through their complicated relationships, but also their quirky small town and just their life and relationship with each other. If you're looking for something that is almost a copy and paste, it's basically a Luke and Lorelai fanfic, I would recommend The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori Gilmore. If you're a Luke and Lorelai girly, I would highly recommend reading this book. It is a little bit of role reversal, a little bit. However, still so good. It's giving all of the Gilmore Girl vibes. There's a small town cafe, lots of witty banter, and a romance that just feels warm, cozy, familiar. However, if you want the vibe of Gilmore Girls without an exact copy and paste, I would highly recommend Book Lovers by Emily Henry. Don't worry, this video is not all about Emily Henry, I promise. This book is also very witty. It's bookish, giving Rory vibes. It feels like you're watching a more grounded, maybe a little more mature version of Gilmore Girls. And the small town in this book is goals. Next is a little more fun. If you liked Schitt's Creek as much as I did, you're gonna love this next book recommendation. If you don't know, Schitt's Creek follows a wealthy family who ends up losing everything and has to move into a dingy motel in a small town. As you can imagine, this family learns to love each other and those around them, even without all of the financial things they had previously. So if you love that show, I would highly recommend reading It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. This book follows a socialite who ends up living in a small town, and she falls for a brooding, grumpy fisherman. And as you can imagine, chaos ensues. This is a fast-paced, super fun romance that's perfect for summer. Next, my husband has convinced me to watch a couple episodes of The Last of Us. It's not my favorite, but I get why people are into it. This show is post-apocalyptic, follows Joel and Ellie who navigate survival, humanity, and found family in a world overtaken by infection. This recommendation is kind of spot on, truly, but it's Severance by Ling Ma. This is a literary dystopian that captures the eerie isolation and slow unraveling of society post this infection. When you read this book, you will feel exactly the way you feel when you're watching The Last of Us. This book is haunting, but also beautiful. There's found family, there's the question of humanity. It's a lot. I also want to add that I literally read this book in like April of 2020, which was a horrible time to read this book. I don't recommend reading it when a pandemic is taking hold. However, if you love The Last of Us, I think you'll really enjoy this book too. All right, the next series is Outer Banks. This is a teen adventure series. There's treasure hunts, there's class wars, there's a found family vibe within this friend group, but there's also mystery and danger going on as well. I don't have an exact match for this one, I would say, but I would recommend picking up 14 Ways to Die if you're looking for something with the same kind of like YA situation and thriller mystery situation. This is definitely giving similar vibes. This book follows a teen who sets out to expose and find and finally gain justice for her mother's murder, but she does all of this on a live stream. Like I said, it's not a perfect one-to-one, but if you liked the mystery and thriller vibes of Outer Banks, I think you would also really enjoy this book. It's also very fast-paced, very easy read, and I think you'd get through it pretty quickly. The next series is Wednesday. This is a gothic, quirky reimagining of Wednesday Addams. This series follows Wednesday as she goes to a magical school and unravels some magical supernatural abilities. So if you loved this Wednesday series, I think you would also really enjoy Curious Tides by Pascal Lachelle. I hope that's how you pronounce her name. This one has the same dark academia, moody atmosphere, lots of twists and secrets and turns. I highly recommend. This book is giving Wednesday in the best way. This is a beautiful, immersive YA fantasy. There's secret societies, magic, and just secrets about the magic too, which is so fun. I promise if you loved Wednesday, you will also really love this book. The next series is Outlander, which again, I'm pretty sure this series has a book series already out about it. So definitely check that one out if you're looking for a one-to-one. If you literally want to read Outlander, you can. This series follows a World War II nurse who was transported back in time to 18th century Scotland. While she's there, she falls for a Scottish Highlander and gets caught between these two timelines and loyalties, and she's a lot to figure out. I don't have a physical copy of my recommendation here, but if you loved this series, I think you would also really enjoy The Frozen River by Ariel Lawhon. This is a historical fiction with rich details, strong women, and dangerous secrets. It has a very similar blend to Outlander with romance, intrigue, and a gorgeous atmosphere. I will say there is no time travel involved, but I promise this book doesn't need it. This book will transport you back in time all on its own. The next TV series is Jane the Virgin. This is a drama comedy about a young woman whose life is turned upside down when she is accidentally artificially inseminated. So if you like that series, I would definitely recommend reading The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. This book has the same heartfelt chaos, swoon-worthy romance, and lots of humor. It's a bit spicy, a bit quirky, but all heart. The female main character in this book is truly what makes me recommend it the most. Okay. The next series is Love is Blind. In this show, people fall in love without ever seeing each other, and then they get married. So as you can imagine, emotions run high. For this book, I highly recommend reading Flawless by Elsie Silver. If you love messy drama, tension, and whirlwind emotions, Flawless delivers. This book, once you get to the part that I'm mostly talking about here, this will give you the drama, the chaos of a Love is Blind finale. I highly recommend. The next series is The White Lotus. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't watched very many episodes of this one, but I know there's messy characters, there's a luxury vacation, there's secrets, there's mystery, there's tension. So with all of that, I would recommend you read The Last Mrs. Parrish by Liv Constantine. This book is twisty, manipulative, and filled with beautiful people being truly awful. I think that you'll love peeling back all of the layers to these characters just like you do in White Lotus. This book might just shock you. Next is Grey's Anatomy. This is a hospital drama with intense relationships and even more intense breakdowns. Because of that, I will be recommending Beartown by Frederick Bachman. No, this has nothing to do with anything medical, but it will emotionally gut you just like Grey's Anatomy does. This book explores trauma, community, morality, and just how people handle heartbreak. I'm gonna be honest, I've avoided the show like the plague because my sister watches it and I've seen how it affects her and I refuse. If you know anything about me, you know that I don't like to sign up to cry. I don't need something else to make me cry. And that's what Grey's Anatomy will do to you, and that's what Beartown will also do to you. So this is the perfect book recommendation for people who enjoy heartbreak. You're welcome. The next series is New Girl. This show follows Jess, who ends up moving in with 3 men and follows the chaos that obviously will ensue, but also all of the cozy friendships that are formed. So for this series, I would highly recommend picking up the novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. If Jess had a book, it would be this book. It's whimsical, heartfelt, funny, and awkward, but in the best way. This follows the female main character who finds herself magically transported into the town of her favorite book series. Truly, I think that Jess would also just love reading this book. The next series is The Vampire Diaries. Again, I'm pretty sure this is already a book series, so if you want to literally read the story, you can do that. This is not going to be that. This series has love triangles, vampires, and centuries of backstory. With that, I would highly recommend reading A Court of Thorns and Roses. This is an enemies to lovers, dark magic, and a slow burn romance. Immortal men who brood way too much. If you know, you know. This book has the high stakes and drama that fans of The Vampire Diaries would definitely eat up. The next TV series I want to talk about is Bridgerton. This is a Regency romance series that is full of gossip, passion, and perfectly timed orchestral covers. Again, this series is based on a book series, which you could absolutely read. But who wants to read a series after they've already watched the series? No one. So with that, I'm going to recommend Throne of the Fallen by Carrie Maniscalco. This is different. This is a fantasy, there's magic involved, but there is still balls and fancy people. I don't know. There's lusty tension, there's a slow burn romance, just like Bridgerton, but with a little more added mystery and magic. This book is much darker than Bridgerton, but in a really good way. There's still balls and politics and courting, but also devils and magic and hell. It's really good. And finally, the last series I want to talk about is The Good Place. I loved this show. If you haven't seen it, a woman ends up in the afterlife and tries to become a better person with the help of a bunch of weirdos, basically. For this series, I'm going to recommend that you read The Husbands by Holly Gramazio. This book has humor, weirdness, alternate realities with a deep undercurrent of just trying to figure out what makes a good life. This book is The Good Place if Eleanor had a magical dating problem. This is a super fun, super interesting read. I highly recommend. Whew, phew, that's it. Those are all the series I have for now and all the book recommendations that I have. Once I read more books and watch more shows, I definitely could do another one of these videos. It was fun to think of shows and match them with books that I've read. Let me know down below if you've watched any of these series and if you think any of these book recommendations are spot on, because I feel like I did a good job. Again, if you like this type of content, definitely make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. I also have my Instagram, Goodreads, TikTok all linked down below. I also have my Patreon linked down below if you want to support me and the channel, help me buy more books. That'd be amazing. But yeah, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!